And with the first pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select. Welcome to the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk. Whew, what a week. It is draft season. It is something that I kind of equate it to almost like to politics. Because it's on TV, especially on the sports networks, ad nauseum. It's all a bunch of doublespeak. It's all a bunch of speculation. It's all a bunch of this is going to happen and that's going to happen and this guy's going to go here and that guy's going to go there and this team's going to do that and this team wants to do that. And when it gets right down to it, other than, okay, we're expecting a quarterback at 1, 2, and 3, right? Okay, by the way, say hi to the nice people, Maz.
Oh, yeah. Hey, how's it going?
Hey,
welcome to the show.
I'm going to do this sports thing while I'm at it there.
Good to see you. How you doing?
While I've got you there,
how's life?
I'm going to center you in your frame. That's okay. I got this. I'll
after
move
you finish
magically.
After you finish your analogy about how you relate it to that, I relate it to hurricane season. So, but go ahead, because
hurricane season.
I'm interested.
The storm's going to go here.
Well,
and
because
the storm's
it's
go there.
it's like. We know the hurricanes are coming. Okay, you have Hurricane Bertha just crossed the Cape Verdes, and you're watching it, and you expect it to be all this. And then by the time it gets to, like, the Leeward Islands, it dissipates, and you're like, oh, what a bust.
Eating your popcorn like
yeah, and you're like, oh, man.
You're watching the latest advisory. Like,
yeah, because
you're watching the cone of death.
Everybody has got their opinions and say of how bad they're going to be. And eventually, most of them just end up making a right or making a left.
It's a Florida thing. It really is a Florida thing.
So that's what I relate
to.
But,
hey. Okay, well, let the people in on a little thing. You and I are weather nerds, so when there is a hurricane and the cone of death is out there and it's pointed anywhere near Florida, we're like on each other with the text messages like, yeah, you think, what, are you need any help? You need help putting them? Nah, I got to put the shutters up. We'll wait till a couple of days beforehand, blah, 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 blah. It's a Florida thing.
It is fun, though.
It is fun.
It's fun being a weather geek.
And as a couple of guys who are about to get into the real estate business, like, we want a couple of good hurricanes.
Heck yeah.
We want a couple of good hurricanes. Why?
Recycle the market.
Right?
Yeah.
First of all, it slows down the people from up north. It slows them down because right now in the state of Florida, everybody's selling their house up north for like a ridiculous amount of money, and then they're coming down here and they're buying up houses for $20,000 to $100,000 over asking, and they're inflating the market, and they think they're moving down here to paradise, and then wait till that first Cat 2 hurricane comes knocking on the door at let's say late July. Mid-July. Let's say mid-July.
Maybe.
Let's wait. Let's wait until at least after the 4th of July, so we can get a nice holiday in. And then mid-July, and you're standing in line at Home Depot with your plywood or your brand new shutters that I didn't know I was going to have to get shutters. What the hell? I didn't have to do this in New Jersey.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, you go ahead, move down here, see how it works out for you. No, but it slows it down and it calms the market down a little bit because people from Ohio don't want to have to deal with her. I thought snow was bad. Yeah, come on down here and deal with 110 mile an hour winds.
There's definitely some challenges weather-wise down here. Makes it fun for all of us, though.
Man, we are. How can I say we are the most tangential sports show ever. We open the show and we're like, welcome to the sports show. Let's talk about hurricanes.
Yeah. Start with weather and end with aliens and everything else in between.
And football.
And football too.
There's football.
Yeah.
Yes.
What I suggested we do, and obviously we're going to at some point here soon, is go through and do a mock first 10 picks. And kind of figure out what we think we're going to go about. There's definitely, like you said, the first two, I think they're pretty much in stone.
Right.
And then it gets a little bit interesting as to what some of these teams are going to do.
Right. Okay. Well, before we get to that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's make that the big closer.
Sure.
Okay. Let's do a little roundup here and catch up on the other major sports. including Jorge Masvidal taking a whooping last night in UFC. That was bad. A second round KO. First time in his 20 fights in the UFC that Jorge has been knocked out. Usman is probably the best MMA fighter in the world right now. So there's your UFC moment. And then we move on to the majors, which are Major League Baseball.
Baseball has been a very, very good sport to me.
How about that Dodgers San Diego? I mean, the Dodgers and Padres are just going hammer and tongue. It's like every other week they play each other now.
Well, now because of the scheduling, the way they have these teams kind of piggybacking just to kind of eliminate travel or at least kind of lessen that amount of travel. Yeah, it's great. And plus, these two teams are very good. And there's a very good chance that they could be seeing each other when these games really count.
Yeah. Well,
so it's nice to have a little early fun in baseball. So, yeah, these teams certainly are getting at each other. And not in the best of way. They're kind of building a little bit of resentment towards each other, which is super cool because there's nothing like a bench-clearing brawl. Although I got to say, most baseball bench-clearing brawls end up being bench-clearing hugs. Because by the time the bullpen finally runs the distance of the field to get to when the fight's supposed to happen, it never does. It's usually just one guy yelling, one guy not yelling and pushing and acting so tough. And, it's more of a kind of like a
lot of bad Spanish, too.
Yeah, probably.
The Latino players.
There's about 8 different dialects going on at one time.
Bad Spanish and bad, really poorly used English curse words.
Yeah.
Juef this, Juef that, and
a lot of bravado.
Then you get the guy from Iowa trying to curse in Spanish, which just never ever works.
Yeah, it's probably it's from that perspective, it's probably worth a listen, but unfortunately,
hilarious.
Yeah, although you know what, only 9 people in the stands. It's probably you could probably go down and hear the whole thing. But so that's kind of fun. At least there's attitude. And when there's attitude, there's a little bit more emotion and stuff like that. And these guys are generally fiery anyway. So, so baseball's fun. But this is the interesting part. Who would have thought that right now, this is just right now as we stand, the American League standings, okay, each division.
Yankees suck.
The Red Sox are in first place.
And the Yankees are still
barely. They're barely that. In the Central, the Royals. And in the West, the Oakland A's, who haven't lost in 2 weeks.
Somebody needs to, take a fire extinguisher to them, throw some water on that.
They're having fun, too. That's a fun place to play. I mean, those fans, the 83 they're letting in the stadium are absolutely crazy. But when they get the rest of them in, that's going to be bananas. It's a rabid place, So good for Oakland. So the Red Sox, after getting swept to open the season at home to the Orioles, who are still terrible, who are, by the way, last in the division. The Red Sox have been on fire. They're just hitting the ball. J.D. Martinez, Rafael Devers, they're crushing it.
Maybe managers mean something.
It plays a difference certainly in baseball. Again, it's a grind. So
even though he's a cheater,
that's a whole other topic. By the way, F the Astros.
Who are having COVID-19 problems.
They're having a few issues.
Your voodoo doll worked.
Oh, a doll. Wait, chickens have lost their life. We have sacrifices going on daily. So, yeah.
Why is that goat in your garage?
Yeah, well, that's because we drink milk. But anyway, F the Astros.
For the cheese, man. It's for the cheese.
Yeah, the Astros have some issues right now. Listen, even though we're talking about positions first place, the Red Sox, I know they're happy about having to look down to the Yankees. We are a month in, just about. It's a long grind. We talk about managers and how important they are. It's just about managing the team. It's managing the grind. It's managing all the challenges that are facing when these guys are playing 6 days a week, and sometimes doubleheaders are playing 7-8 games a week now, especially because of the COVIDs.
Yep.
In those situations where the teams there's like the Red Sox, and I think a few other teams have already missed 3-4 games. The Reds, the Cardinals, I think too. So it's going to be a challenge to keep these guys not only rested but motivated, focused, driven, successful, all that stuff. So, but currently it's kind of interesting to see the Red Sox in first. Nobody would have predicted that they'd be there right now.
No, not at all. And we're just going to skip over the Marlins talk because although Trevor Rogers has been really, really good and they've been okay, I guess, it's just
The beauty of
You
the
lose
National
3 of 4 to the freaking Orioles. Okay, it's something that tests a fan's patience.
Well, the beauty
Okay.
of that division is that the Mets are in first right now at 8-8. Another team that has had COVID-related schedule issues. So, but again, nobody's going to run away with this division. At least it appears that way early on. The Phillies are 10-10. Marlins are sitting at 9-11. They've looked good in spots. Listen, we know who the Marlins are.
A work in progress.
Exactly, but again, it's difficult to keep hearing that because they've been that way for so long.
Well, at least at this juncture, we see progress in the work.
We
Okay,
talked
we see
about
progress.
their bullpen to
Right.
this point, and that was their glaring weakness for years. The bullpen was terrible. This year, they're in the top third in most of the counting stats, which is a huge improvement.
And still
So,
filtering guys into the mix.
in baseball, again, like anything else, it's very difficult to make those leaps to get to the next level because again, you've got all these different pieces that have to fit. And all these challenges that do arise in baseball, but clearly, talent-wise, pitching is important for them, and their bullpen is showing that. Some of the changes they've made, and of course Mattingly and how he's handling the bullpen. It's going to be a long year, and and they're all young guys too.
Big Trevor, big bad lefty.
There's
and
no
doing
payroll.
Very, very well.
They're not paying anybody any money either. So it's still, from a fan perspective, it's impatient. From a baseball and a business perspective, it's still part of the plan. So if you're buying into the plan, if you're buying in the Jeter
Trust the
and the plan,
process.
then you just need to hang a little tight, watch the numbers, watch certain parts of the team get better, know the weaknesses. They know who the weaknesses are. They know that offense is lacking bats. Okay, right now it's just pretty much developing the talent they have. But from the pitching side, their starting pitching is good. Okay, their bullpen's getting better. So it's a process. Just hang in there. Hang in there for Donnie Baseball.
I will. I will. Okay, so we can transition from baseball into the National Basketball Association.
Yeah.
The injury bug. The injury bug is having their say this year. It really is. I mean, the injury bug has affected so many superstar level players. Okay, and one thing that we're starting to see now with the advent of load management, let me use air quotes, load management, because I can see Michael Jordan shaking his head every time anybody uses the word load management. It's like, I won an NBA Finals game with the flu hangover. So what we're seeing with COVID and what we're seeing with load management from these two leagues, both the NBA and Major League Baseball, we're seeing these gigantic long seasons, 82 games, 162 games. We're seeing maybe the season doesn't need to be that long. Maybe you don't need that many games. You really don't. Okay, you don't need that many games. I think that's one of the reasons why baseball does not have stellar attendance. Okay, I just do.
It's a grind. It's 81 games in baseball. Okay, 81 home games.
81 home games.
So it's 81.
Who's got the money for that?
Yeah, it's difficult. But here's the thing, though.
And baseball's no longer the cheapest game in town.
Baseball had an opportunity. Okay, the players are the ones that said no.
Right.
So there's no room from anybody, especially from the player side, to look up in the stands and see nobody there. Okay,
Right.
Because like you said, and like we're saying, 81 games. I mean, how many games do we go to a year? I mean, I've been to
5.
Maybe. Again, it's accessibility
4.
and it's affordability, and those things are very difficult in today's
Yep.
world.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, granted, I'm sure down here at least, maybe once fans get back into these stadiums, more teams will put up, different ways to get them, different attractions, lowering prices, giving away incentives. Hopefully, that'll be the push to get people in the stands.
Cut the number of games.
Well, again, but the players didn't want to do that in baseball. And it comes down to money. And if the players don't want to reduce the number of games in their season because they don't want it to affect their pocketbooks, then guess what? We're going to have these long seasons. Baseball was fun last year, even though it was, again, the skeptics of the COVID and the challenges.
Truncated.
I mean, it was very quick. 60 games, boom, bam, you're in, you're out. Here it is. Marlins made the playoffs. It
Sure.
worked. That's extreme. I don't think they'll cut it back to 60 games because of the purists and the importance of playing a full season.
120.
They said no to, I think, reducing it by 10. So by 40, no chance. Baseball's done. The next agreement.
They're in danger of losing public interest.
And football, what did football do? They extended the season.
Because football is more popular than baseball.
But again, it's a numbers thing. It's only 17 games.
Listen.
So it's
you add up the numbers, okay? And if you add up just the priority, the hierarchy, the ranking of priorities in a sports fan's life, okay? You're the typical sports fan. You're down with the big four.
Right.
Okay? Football, baseball, basketball, hockey.
Right.
Okay? Generally, in the United States, it goes football, basketball, baseball, hockey.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Exactly.
Okay? And then everything else. Now, some people may have their priorities as far as their top sport. Let's say you're a fight fan. You're into the UFC. You like watching half-naked men beat each other up. That's fine. That's your thing. You like soccer because you're the weird kid. Okay? So you care about the Super League. You care about the Super League? Who cares about the Super League?
No.
Okay?
When are they fighting the Avengers?
Your typical American sports fan, it is NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, hockey.
That's it.
Okay, you have some weirdos that may like basketball a little better than football. Some weirdos might like baseball a little better than football. That's fine. But if you add them all up, you add the totality of the 200 million
The pie
sports
chart.
fans.
The pie chart, yeah.
200 million sports fans.
Yeah, the pie chart goes like
Then you're gonna
50,
see-
25, 15, 10,
Right.
like that. So,
Right.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, face facts. That's the reason why the NFL TV contract is so huge. Okay, huge. The per game, per week value of the TV contracts, it's off the charts. And why? Because more people watch football. Okay, pro football, college football. I'll even put college and pro together. Because I'll tell you what, if you put college and pro basketball together, still going to be at best second. Okay, same goes for baseball. Same goes for hockey. Hockey, it's nice that you're number 4. Okay, it's a lot of white people. So white people like hockey.
We need a 4.
So yeah, so you're looking at the priority, the sport, the dollar priority. That's the reason why NFL games are so expensive. Okay, you can sit in the nosebleeds. It's still going to cost you $60, $65. You know, I'm getting season tickets.
Yeah, but the process is grueling. The parking is $30.
I know.
Everything else,
Oh, yeah.
the beer is $15.
Right, and it's supply and demand. It's popularity.
Yeah.
Okay, you see way more NFL games sold out at capacity, 65, 70,000 people. You see them week in and week out. So the demand for the NFL games is higher because their season is shorter. So I'm telling you right now, you cut those Major League Baseball games. You take a month off the Major League schedule. Take a month off of it. Okay, then suddenly you're starting the playoffs at the beginning of September.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think
No more snow for the playoffs.
their approach instead was, again, because the players said no, and they have a say in the amount of games they play, is to not cut the season and to instead expand the playoffs.
You're hurting your sport.
And, no, listen, I'm on board with you because, again, the only true
Cut a
way
month off the NBA while you're at it.
to do that. But again, think about what you're doing too. Is you're not only cutting the revenue,
No more load management.
revenue from the players, but you're cutting TV contracts.
Too bad.
You're cutting, and then that money
Adjust.
Okay, for instance, that's the tree. The tree is
Adjusted value. Remember adjusted value?
Yes.
Adjusted value.
Chapter 4, I don't even know. But anyway, my point is that if you start to bite away at your foundation, which is the TV contracts, which is where the root of all the money is filtered from. Without the TV contracts, there's no money in the league. I mean, it's merchandise. No, it's TV. So if you start cutting games, you start cutting viewers, you start cutting revenue, and then therefore you start cutting salaries. And again, that's at that level. Then it filters down to
Attendance.
vendors. It cuts down to people, businesses that are in supporting areas of these stadiums.
Right.
You ever been down even let's talk about baseball, which isn't a huge draw, but I guarantee walking around Fenway Park Saturday afternoon for a 1:00 game and every bar is packed and every restaurant is packed. So you're pulling from that as well. You're not just removing the
But
fact
you're
of
only talking about major markets. You're talking about big venues.
I get
okay?
it. I get it. And I understand it.
What we're talking about is a dichotomy between viewership versus attendance. Okay? And these long seasoned, these huge long seasons, okay, they're bad for attendance versus viewership. So okay, then you want to keep 162 games in Major League Baseball? Okay, keep 162 games in Major League Baseball, but then put them in a smaller stadium. 25,000 people, 25,000 seat parks. That's it. 25,000 seat parks.
But what are you trying to accomplish? Optics?
What I'm trying to accomplish is fuller crowds, more realistic attendance expectations.
But that 20,000 that goes to that stadium, if they're going to the other stadium, it's still 20,000.
Well, you got to prioritize your revenue stream. Which is your priority? I mean, we found out with the NFL last year what the priority was, because you had 90% of the games were played with zero fans in the crowd.
I'm telling you, it's TV.
The TV deal was
TV deals
it.
are huge.
You don't F with the TV
And
deal.
not to go on a whole different tangent, again, looking at companies like DraftKings and fantasy sports in general.
Yep.
Now, I've been saying it for years now, 5, 6, 7 years, how big the industry is growing.
Sure.
But now the numbers are starting to come out. Currently, it's a $3 billion operation, okay, fantasy sports. They're guessing in the next 10 years that's going to go to $80 billion.
Wow.
Okay, so you're going from $3 billion to $80 billion in 10 years. Okay, look at the growth that's going to produce in terms of what these sports are. The sports, I think in general, I think you're right in the sense of getting smaller stadiums. But I mean,
smaller venues.
the problem is you're going to start building these smaller venues, which is going to cost money as well. What these stadiums need to do is to incorporate more of the home environment at the stadium. Right now, nobody wants to or has to leave their couch because they have the accessibility, the capabilities, the viewing pleasures that they gain. The only difference is they're not in the stadiums. But they don't have to pay to get to the stadiums. They don't have to worry about the traffic or the aggravation or the person behind you that's drunk or whatever the reasons are that keep people from going to the stadiums. It's getting harder and harder to get those people to go because it's so easy and so much more adaptable to be home and watch these games. So they have to realize this and then kind of change their philosophy and approach and how to get people in stadiums. So how do they do that? Well, you make the stadium your home. You create pockets, or at least in these stadiums, you introduce fantasy sports into these stadiums.
Lower ticket prices.
That's obviously that's clear too. But
Make parking realistic.
But you know what? I'm the firm believer that people will spend for things they want to do. Okay, if you don't want to do something, you're not going to take the time to research it, to invest in it, to be a part of it.
You're like, ooh, I want to do that.
Yeah, but if something crosses your, whatever, your line of vision, you're like, wow, that's interesting. The first thing you do is, that looks like fun. I want to do it. Then it's, well, how much does it cost? It's always then how much does it cost? And if you justify what it costs in your mind, $100, $500, $1,000, guess what? You're going to do it. But if it never crosses it never piques your interest, it could be $50. It's just not something you want to do.
Yeah.
So they have to create the environment where as if you are in your own home, on your own couch, your computer's in front of you here, you've got 3 screens here, you've got at least give pockets of fans that are
Red
into those
zone.
sorts of things. Yeah, exactly. Every stadium should have their own red zone section, their own TVs and monitors and everything else. Don't be so focused on getting the fans not watching the game there, because they're still watching the game in your building. They're in your building.
Yep.
You have them. Okay, they're spending money in your house.
Oh, yeah.
That's your focus. Okay, don't be so entitled and greedy that you got to have your ass in a seat in a plastic seat that's like this for big guys like you and me that aren't even comfortable in
so
these
much
stadiums.
BS.
It's 1,000 degrees
Look at my
here.
fat ass in
Please,
there.
I'm going to start going off on a rant. I don't want to.
Sure.
So keep us home. Or get us to home. Get us to your place so that we feel like we're at home. Don't treat us as such we're like sardines in a can that we have to go to our seat and sit in the sun this way.
Right.
And
Well, and
put
by
your
the way,
friggin' masks
when
on.
I was going through the process of purchasing season tickets, I made it a point. I said, I make sure that my seat is not in the sun. Make sure my seat is not in the sun. If my seat is in the sun, I'm going to be at that office knocking on your forehead.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to have to change the seat. And you're going to have to change it to something comparable out of the sun because see that you're going to have to give me my money back. It's one or the other.
It's brutal.
Okay, because I was assured of this.
Yeah.
So
And there's a lot of challenges. That being one of them.
The,
here.
the challenge is this. Okay. The owners of these sports franchises in these leagues are going to have to wrap their head around the idea of if they want to keep these ridiculously long seasons, these grinds, okay? You want to keep these ridiculously long seasons? And I'm not talking about the NFL, I'm talking about the NBA, I'm talking about hockey, I'm talking about baseball. You're going to have to lower the amount of money it costs for the average family of 4 to come out for a night of hockey. You have to lower the cost for 2 people and 4 people, okay? You either date night, bro date night, out with your bro, going to see the basketball game, or you bring in the wife and the kids. Okay? You have to lower those costs and lower them big time. Okay? Otherwise, you're going to end up with more half-empty stadiums or even three-quarters empty stadiums. There's nothing more pathetic to me than seeing a three-quarter empty baseball stadium. 2 great baseball teams, even 2 mediocre baseball teams, but playing a great game. And we all know the baseball experience, going to see a game is awesome. It's great. Have a beer and a hot dog and a pretzel and and yell and scream and you're blind, Blue. All of that, okay? Do the baseball thing. All right? But it costs $150.
It's getting out of
to
hand.
get a decent seat.
Yeah. And again, it's not just the seat. It's the parking, the beer, the food. Food.
Listen. When I say $150, I say the whole experience is costing you $150.
The money they're making on the food. How do you sell a glass? First of all, they're all paper products now, which means they're
$12 Cuban sandwiches.
or an $8 soda. I mean, it's just that
I
costs
just stopped
them.
drinking soda. It's better for you.
But I'm saying when you go with your kids or you go with whatever, everybody gets soda.
Beer.
It's incredible. It probably costs them
$14 beer.
It probably costs them about 15 cents for that soda that they're charging you $8
A beer
for.
doesn't cost $14 in a strip club.
It's insane. It's insane.
Trust me, we are experts in that.
Yeah, so it's insane, and it's not right, and we don't want to sound like the old people that are bitching about pricing. Oh, when I was a kid, gas was 43 cents. Who gives a shit what your gas cost when you were 9?
The S
So
word.
I don't care what you pay for your gas, you idiot. So it doesn't matter. You probably made $3 a week too. Who cares? My point,
Yeah, and I was the remote control when I was a
Yeah.
kid. And we had 4 channels and we liked it.
Thank you. So, but my point is that
Uphill both ways in the snow in the summertime.
even not trying to sound like that, you could still recognize when you're getting, stuck in the rear with this stuff, and it's clear.
Oh, wait. You know who could really tell that when I was a kid deal, okay, really do that, is the Guru's Guru with Roscoe. Oh, my God.
Well, first of all,
he can tell you, I could go to a game at Wrigley Field for $4. And I could get a hot dog and a soda and ride the train and get a ticket. And I was like,
Remember this. He's only
$4.
He's 3 years removed from Moses parting the water, so that's
Yeah,
why he's got all these stories.
He was a freshman when Moses graduated.
Yeah, I was going to say. Remember, there was 20 tablets. There were 20 commandments, and he tripped going up the hill.
These 15 clunk. 10 Commandments.
Was it History of the World? Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Mel
Oh, yeah.
Brooks, great. So.
Mel's my boy. Okay,
All
so
right. Wow.
we've done
Another
bitching
digression.
and kibitzing over how
Pricing,
God
and
damn
I
it,
can't afford to tie my shoes.
damn movies and these damn it cost $11 to go to the movies and
Milk
All right.
was 30 cents a gallon.
Right, exactly.
Shut
so,
up, you idiot.
yeah, lower the cost of the experience, and you will get more people to come to your ridiculously long seasons. Okay, because I mean, listen, how pathetic is it that you see, and I'm not just citing the Marlins as a case, but you see a team like the Kansas City Royals, okay, and it's the middle of September. And they're 17 games out of first place. They're 13 games out of any sort of playoff consideration.
They're done.
And you have 9 people in the stands. 9 people. And that was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Okay? No. You want to have more than 9 people in the stands. You want to have, at least, 5,000-6,000 people in the stands. You want to see families in the stands. You want to see people having a good time, even though the team stinks. They're horrible.
At that point, you're getting September call-ups. So you got guys
Right.
at least trying.
Right.
So guys that are trying to make the club for next year.
Resuscitate interest in the game, in the teams. Okay, instead of having somebody sitting there watching the game through their eyelids. And on the MLB network and channel surfing, okay, you'll have plenty of opportunities to do that, okay, but you don't have the opportunities to go to a Friday matinee game, play hooky off of work, leave work at lunch break, and go see the Cubs play.
It had to be the Cubs for Friday matinee, but yeah.
Well, yeah,
I get
there's
it.
lots of Friday
I get
matinees.
it. Well, it would have to be a rain out. So
But it's just it's ridiculous to me how the greed has gotten to the point where one of the reasons why these seasons were so long is because the cost to go was so cheap. It really was. I mean, once again, not sounding like an old man. Back in my day, uphill both ways in the snow for a nickel. Okay, no. It was literally, you could go any given weeknight, you could go to see a Marlins game at Joe Robbie Stadium, and a decent ticket, $10, $8, outfield, bleachers, whatever, $8,
orange seats,
orange seats,
$8.
$8, baseball game, $4 soda, not $8
Wow,
soda.
here we go. And parking was $5,
Exactly,
not 40.
realistic. So, okay,
That's fun.
on to the main event.
Good times, good times.
On to the main event. The big issue, the big story, the big thing that is on everybody's mind in the sports world, okay, just us really,
Yeah.
is the NFL draft. The 2021, put on your damn glasses.
Here we
you sure
go.
you don't want to finish breaking my backup readers that you
No,
demented
wait,
with you?
first
Those are
of
your
all,
backup glasses now, forever.
You told me I stretched these.
You did with
It's
your
impossible.
gigantic size
There's-
8 3/4 head.
8.5.
I thought I had a huge head.
8.5.
Dude,
All right.
okay, this head, okay, I bought back in 1996. I bought a size 8 fitted Florida Marlins, had the big F, Florida Marlins hat,
Wow.
which is over there on that hat rack over there, okay?
Wow.
And it's a size 8.
I didn't
and
even know
it's
what size
snug
I am.
on me. My head is
I'm more-
8 1/3.
I'm more elongated than I am big.
Point ahead.
But I used to train. I have a close friend of mine, I still have Mike from Pittsburgh, that he listens to us once in a while. Hopefully he's listening today. Hello, Michael.
Are you listening, Mike? For crying
Hello,
out loud?
Michael. We used to tease each other because he's got quite the melon too. And I used to tell him, like I used
Got
to
a
call
Genshin
him,
cranium.
and he wouldn't answer the phone, and he'd call me back a few hours later, and I would say, "What happened? You got your head stuck between the fridge and the wall again?" You know, but stuff like that. But actually, he would tell me, "No, I was in training. I was trying to get it smaller." So he'd purposely wedge himself between the fridge and the wall to try and get it a little more streamlined. So he had quite the
Why
melon.
does your head always look greasy? Why?
Yeah.
Because so we can get it through doorways.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the big head jokes that we
All
all
right,
get.
so we enter the 2021 draft. The commissioner is now able to he's now able to hug young men in their or early 20s again.
With
A little
masks.
weird.
With masks.
With masks. They're going to wear masks?
I'm sure they are.
No, he's vaccinated.
They're wearing masks.
Yeah, but Goodell is vaccinated.
I don't care. If they're hugging each other on TV and a podium, they're wearing masks still. Everybody's got to wear these freaking masks.
Okay. Place your
terrible.
bets. Mask or no mask for Goodell.
Masks.
We'll put that. I'm going to say no mask.
I'm going no shield. but
No
he's wearing
shield.
a mask.
Okay. Well, he's not going to
Well-
go. He's not going to go for the butt bump like Christian Wilkins, though.
Can I argue the first pick with you? Okay, because obviously everybody's
Why
picking Trevor
would you
Lawrence.
argue? You know they're already having meetings.
It's going to be a
It's-
fast argument. Okay, it's a fast argument.
It's Trevor time in Jacksonville.
Everybody's saying Trevor Lawrence is the first pick overall in the draft. I'm saying that you are correct, except there could be a minor hiccup
What's that?
on the way to the draft. You ever see the movie Remember the Titans? Okay, Sunshine.
Sunshine,
Sunshine. He can throw it a mile, but he couldn't toss it 3 feet.
Right.
It's going to come out that this guy here is anti-pitch. Okay, and which means that he's not going to be able to run that. I'm just kidding. No,
He can't throw a screen.
Listen, it's done deal. Trevor Lawrence is the first pick in the draft. I can't argue Trevor Lawrence being the first pick.
You
There's
can't.
nothing. This kid's been
He's
the first
going
pick.
to change the fortunes of that franchise.
We're gonna now. Okay, so people know what we're doing because it is radio or TV, and they can't see what we're doing exactly. I'm selecting. FanDuel is offering a free mock first 10 selections.
Right.
So we're going to go through
Show the camera.
1 through 10.
I think they can probably see it on the camera.
We're going to go through 1 through 10 here.
Give it a second to adjust. There we go. Okay, 1 through 10. So we go 1, 2, 3.
Basically, Trevor Lawrence, clear.
Trevor
number
Lawrence.
1. Okay, now the Jets. Are we all in agreement? It's going to be Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
Done.
Done.
No chance somebody else is being
They've
taken.
even said so.
Okay.
They said so.
So basically, everybody entering this contest is going to have Trevor Lawrence is 1, and then Zach Wilson is 2.
Right. Okay. Listen, there would be mild surprise if it wasn't Zach Wilson, and let's say it was Fields. It would be mild surprise. Mild.
Mildly.
Mild.
Less than 5%?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mild surprise.
So it's basically done. So it's Lawrence, Wilson.
right.
Now we have
for the big one.
questions. Now this is where the field starts to separate a little bit.
The Shanahan Lynch factor.
Now we laughed. We had a little discussion about these sorts of players at these sorts of positions and the pressure that these teams are under to have to get their guy. So here we are with the Niners at 3, and Shanahan's got his guy, who is Mac Jones.
Mac attack.
Okay, now we've talked about Mac Jones. You like Mac Jones, right?
I think that once you let's go with a little bit of logic, 'cause that's it's the only thing that seems to actually pan out in the NFL is thinking in logical terms. Okay, you're matching the quarterback with the system with the coach. Okay, the quarterback, the system, and the coach. Okay, let's take a look at Kyle Shanahan for the last 3 seasons. He's had all kinds of quarterback problems, but he has managed to win games with C.J. Beathard. He's managed to win games with, what's his name, Mike Cullen? Is that what his name, Mike Cullen? He's managed to win games with his 3rd and 4th string quarterbacks.
They were in the NFC Championship.
Right.
Yes.
They did manage, when they did get their 1st string quarterback, to stop stubbing his pinky toe on the coffee table after having, a frisky night with a porn star, which we all want to be Jimmy Garoppolo. That's fine. A millionaire, a good-looking millionaire quarterback with porn star girlfriends, it's not a bad life. It's all right. But he can't stay healthy. He can't. He just can't. He lost a slap fight with a 6-year-old, out 3 weeks. Okay,
She was big.
She was a big 6-year-old.
She looked 10, so she was.
She looked 10.
She was tall.
Lost
All right,
a
but
slap fight, and he's out for 3 weeks.
here's the issue with Mac Jones. Okay, now this isn't a knock necessarily on Mac Jones, the
Well,
person.
before you go into it, I know what your knock is going to be, and the same thing was said about Tua. But go ahead.
No, but Tua hasn't proven it yet. So let me continue
Okay.
what I'm going to say about Mac Jones. Mac Jones plays for Alabama. Alabama is a class college program. Best talent, offensive line, skill position players. Always have the best of the best.
4- and 5-star blue chippers.
Both sides, defense as well, which certainly also helps offense. So the team is a juggernaut and has been that way for years. Knowing that, all the quarterbacks that have come out of Alabama, there haven't been many of them that have been any good. And it's not just Alabama.
Kenny Stabler, Joe Namath.
It's in the last 30, 40 years.
A.J.
In the last
McCarron?
century and a half. We've talked about these sorts of players in these sorts of programs where they're always the best athlete. They're always the top of their class. They're often facing competition that isn't on the same level as what they are because they're surrounded by so many other great, talented players. It's tough to gauge somebody's true skill set. And again, now, not even that, because again, everybody knows how far somebody can throw, everybody knows how fast somebody can run, but it's the other things that separate why these first-round quarterbacks either succeed or fail. And it's the other intangibles. It's the psychological approach to the game. It's the leadership qualities that are important at that position. It's the how do you handle failure, because clearly most of these quarterbacks, no matter how good they are going to teams that aren't very good. That's why they're getting these quarterbacks. So a lot of times it's an uphill climb. How do these quarterbacks respond in those situations? So you have to make sure that every box that you're checking on these quarterbacks has to be yes. You can't have any sort of deficiencies. And when I look at a guy like Mac Jones, and when I look at the landscape of the NFL with these quarterbacks and how the game is changing, the speed and the ability for these quarterbacks to have to create, it just gives those players on those teams a better advantage to be successful. Because no matter how good your plan is, you're mano-a-mano, and there are times where you have to create. And if you're limited in systems where now we're talking about, well, this quarterback will thrive in this system with this coach, the coaching landscape is as fluent as any in any sport. Colleges and pro, these quarterbacks and these coaches don't last.
It's getting crazy.
2 years, 3 years, and these coaches know that. So what they're doing is they're basically, in my opinion, doing a disservice to certain players because they're only making them work with their system. Well, what happens when that coach gets fired and goes someplace and takes his system someplace else? What have you done for this guy the last 3 years? Now he has to learn a new system under a new coach.
Don't talk about Adam Gase like that.
So this is the problem. So that's why you have to have, as a player, no matter what your position, quarterback being the most important, you have to have all of these attributes to you so that when things break down and you're not in the perfect system, which very rarely you'll be, you succeed and you become who they think you'll be. You'll run their franchise. That's why there's such a high failure rate. And again, this is not, can Mac Jones throw the ball? Certainly. Can Mac Jones run? Certainly. But is he the fastest or one of the fastest? In my opinion, no. Does he have the strongest arm? Probably not. Okay, so then you start limiting his capabilities.
It's pretty strong.
But when they rate him, he's not in terms of like maybe his arm strength is not what I'm going for. It's the other intangibles. It's maneuverability. It's just being able to move the pocket. Other things like that. The other guy too from Florida, which we'll get to. Again, when you present a package and you know that package, well, it can't really do that well, and in spots it can't really do that well. What do you think teams are going to do when they scheme against you, especially when everything around you, when you bring it to the table, you have that blocker, your offensive lineman that is the best in the league. What if he's hurt that week? And the second string guy, and your quarterback has to be a little more aware of that. All right.
I'm out. You're on a rant. You're on a roll.
I'm out.
Let me cut you off here. Okay. Let's go back to the example that I cited when I was not on the Tua Tagovailoa bandwagon, which I am now. I firmly see he has a chance to go next level. He has a chance to right the ship, per se. Kid had a lot going against him last year. A lot. Including the injury bug. He got hurt. He missed a game due to injury. But let's go back. You're talking about the legacy of Alabama quarterbacks. Let's go back to A.J. McCarron. A guy who I believe won a national championship. Who was his number one wide receiver? Calvin Ridley.
Mm-hmm.
Who was his running back? Derrick Henry. Okay? He had a couple of monsters on the team.
Those guys were pretty good.
Not bad.
And I'm sure if you went on both sides of the ball, offensive line and defensive line, those guys got drafted too.
Right.
100%.
Right.
Throw in a linebacker, a corner, a safety, and a special teams guy,
Right.
and they got drafted too.
Right. If
Yeah.
you take a look at the drafts, and I believe that McCarron was drafted in the 3rd round by
The
Cincinnati.
Bears?
Cincinnati.
Did they? Okay.
So a guy who had a fairly high completion percentage was a decent quarterback, and he got drafted by a horrible team to go to. Holy crap. Okay, a horrible team. And he was basically put on the bench behind Andy Dalton. And then he ended up, 3 years later, he ended up signing with the Jets, I believe it was. And now he's in Houston. Okay, the guy has made the rounds. Okay. When he's had his chances to play, he's done pretty good. He's been all right. Okay. He's not a complete basket case. Sometimes the numbers game doesn't work out for an NFL quarterback. Okay. There's a lot of guys who were elite quarterbacks in college that are sitting on the bench in the NFL. Let's get that straight first.
Well,
of all.
environment, we've talked about it, is everything.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't matter how good you are in terms of where you land. It
Right.
makes a huge difference.
But let's take a look at the environment that all of these quarterbacks are going to. Okay. Lawrence is going to an environment that has Urban Meyer and his offensive staff. Wilson is going to
A total dumpster fire. You can't
Saleh,
say it any other way.
and well, he does have a Shanahan disciple for an offensive coordinator.
Okay. Who will be a head coach in 2 years and gone.
Right.
So what's that going to do for Zach Wilson?
Right.
Yeah. That's my whole point about this.
He does have a pretty good situation,
Yeah.
though. Okay, you fired up young coaches that are
Okay.
bringing in a rookie quarterback that they can mold and build in their image. And then you have at number 3, you have the Shanahan model. And I think that Shanahan, since you've already dropped the first S-bomb of the day, he can make chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Okay.
He can.
Listen,
He's
is one
good
of the-
at it.
I get it. I get
Okay?
it. I get it.
So I see
He better have a great day at the office every day.
he's going to draft Mac Jones. You know, every draft has got a guy who everybody shakes out in front of. Oh, I'm going to go for this guy. And then they go grab another guy. Okay. Ooh, I'm going to get this guy. And they grab another guy. Okay. But I think this guy, woogie, boogie, 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 boogie. It's Mac Jones.
Okay.
So,
Well,
at number 4.
what? I got to make it official.
That was a nice tangent, huh?
I gotta make it official. Mac Jones at 3.
Oh, okay. You're going to draft it.
Okay, so San Fran's taking a quarterback, and they're
San Fran.
staying where they are. And it's-
Number 4, the Atlanta Falcons select.
we don't know. What are we doing with the Falcons?
We have a trade.
Are you on trade?
The Atlanta Falcons.
I don't think they're trading.
Okay.
I don't think they're trading. And again, we've talked about Matt Ryan still having something in the tank, and we both agree that he's not going anywhere. New coach. They got good weapons on offense. Their offensive line is good. I think adding somebody like perhaps the best player in the entire draft,
The Atlanta Falcons select tight end Kyle Pitts,
Would only help
University of Florida.
would only help them. Yeah, tremendously.
Book it.
Yeah, to me, it's Kyle Pitts.
Book it.
Interesting.
That's fine.
So
Number 5.
this is going to be the first. No way! Oh, it's the Bengals type of pick. Okay, they got a rookie quarterback named Joe Burrow, who, by the way, is just now getting off the ice tray from last year. I think he was hit more than any quarterback in the league last year.
He wasn't hit. He was tenderized. He was beaten with a hammer.
And the whole environment talk we talk about, the Bengals are one of the worst organizations in football.
When the Bengals have, if they're given an opportunity, the reason why they have Joe Burrows is because they had no other option.
Exactly.
They had no other option.
Exactly.
There was no other quarterback to take. There was no other player to take. They had Joe. It was just like Joe. That was their only option.
Pressure. Now,
Okay.
Joe, listen, in spots at times last year, the kid played really good. And I
Great.
like Joe Burrow.
Great.
I think he's a great quarterback. But unfortunately, he plays for the Bengals. So,
And the Bengals, with being given a choice, being given an option, the Bengals will take the worst option.
100%.
Okay?
100%.
And I feel bad for whomever that worst option is. Okay, I think they're going to do something super stupid. Everybody is balancing Penny Sewell versus Jamar Chase. Okay, we're going to take.
I was always told and learned that when you're building a franchise, and let's assume that this is their approach again for the 40th straight year.
They'll try to draft Kyle Pitts, even though he was just drafted 5 minutes earlier.
Is it
Kyle Pitts? Is he available?
You
no,
build,
dummy.
That reminds me of a guy that we used to have in our fantasy draft.
Yeah,
every
there's one
year.
in every fantasy
You get
draft.
to the 9th round, and they're like, Peyton Manning's still there. So when Peyton Manning was like,
and that's the guy you throw a dry
AFC
erase
MVP.
marker at.
Yeah, you're just like, well, stop. Okay.
Shut up, Daryl.
When you're building a franchise like the Bengals are doing, okay, when you're trying to
They're going to pick the wrong guy.
start from the beginning, you build the line, you build interior line, you
They're going to
build
draft a punter.
offensive line, defensive line. Everybody's saying it's Penny Sewell. It's Sewell. I don't think it will be, only because of the Bengals. So let's play devil's advocate here. Let's say it's not. Let's say they do make another bungle.
They're going to
mistake.
draft an accountant.
Do you think they take? Now listen, Jamar Chase. If you're putting him against Sewell, I get it.
Then they're going to curse the poor guy.
Jamar
okay?
Chase is really good too.
And you know what? And Jamar Chase is going to get to play in about 3 regular season games, because what it is every other game he plays, he's going to get a pulled hammy, and he's going to have a soft tissue injury all year. Why? Because he was drafted by the Bengals.
The curse of the
Okay,
Bengals.
he has been cursed. Look at John Ross. John Ross was supposed to be the guy.
All right.
Okay, 4.3 speed.
I think
Hands were golden. Cursed. Cursed.
We got to pick somebody.
Okay.
You know what? I think they take the wide receiver,
Go ahead.
Jamar Chase.
Go ahead.
Jamar
Put
Chase.
the band back together.
Very nice.
I
Now,
feel bad for you, Jamar. I really do. I hope you do all right. I wish you nothing but the best. You and T. Higgins could form one of the best combos. You and Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins. That is a huge, huge trio of wide receivers. Awesome. Good for you. But you're going to the Bengals. And all I can tell you is stretch and hydrate a lot, brother. Stretch and hydrate.
So now that the Dolphins are sitting at 6, and Pitts has been taken because that's who they would have selected clearly if he was still there.
If
They signed that guard already, which to me signifies that they're going to maybe
DJ
run
Fluker,
a
their
little bit
number
this year.
6, there's the number 6 lineman.
Yeah,
yes.
they're going to run a little bit this year. So again, but what are the Dolphins doing at 6?
Okay.
Are they trading down?
I'm a crazy man.
Let's hear it.
And since this is lying season, we've heard all kinds of nonsense about the Miami Dolphins. Okay, the latest nonsense is that the Dolphins will take the 18th pick that they have. They also have a second pick in the first round, the number 18 pick. They will package the 18 and the 50 together in the second round, the 50th pick, which is like the 23rd pick in the second round. And they will move up. They will make this trade with the Denver Broncos, whom they have decided we're not going to wring our hands and go after one of the great quarterbacks in this great draft. We're going to trade down. We're going to pick up extra guys. We'll fix the quarterback situation somehow. Or Drew Lock is our guy. Pick up extra capital. Okay. The Dolphins trade up to the 9th pick. Okay. So now we got the Dolphins picking at 6 and 9.
Well, Lions have 9 right now.
The Lions, no, the Broncos.
No, Lions. Lions have 9.
Where are the Broncos?
Detroit Lions. Oh, trade to. Whoa.
There's a trade we missed.
Oh no, Broncos are at 7 via the trade. See, this this is his predictions. This isn't the.
Oh,
order.
this is his prediction.
Yeah, sorry, I thought it was order. You're
Schmuck.
right. So they have Broncos moving up, like you're saying, to get Justin Fields. This is the quarterback
Right.
angle you're going. I agree
Okay.
with that because they are moving off of Joe.
Well, this is the latest speculation about the Dolphins.
Yeah,
Okay, so if the latest crazy ass speculation has the Dolphins picking at 6 and 9, then I see the Dolphins doing something insane. At number 6, they draft number 6, Devontae Smith. Easy. They were talking about him at 3. Okay? Easy. They draft Devontae Smith. And only because they make the trade to move up to number 9. Because when they get to number 9, they're going to take Rashawn Slater, the guard tackle monster from Northwest.
Yeah.
Okay. So they are going to satisfy everybody's needs. Unless, now here's an unless, a caveat. They get to 9, and Penny Sewell is still there. Sewell is still there. You have to take him. He's the top-rated lineman. But I don't think he's going to get – I think that Detroit is going to do something different. I think that Carolina is going to do something different. I think that Detroit, everybody's like, oh, Detroit's going to go grab a wide receiver. They could grab Sewell just as easily as anybody else. Not like they've got a great offensive line.
I think they are looking more defense, though. The Lions, they talked about Micah Parsons.
Okay.
Maybe him.
A little too high for him. 7 is a little too high to draft him.
Well, they have him going down, though, in that again.
Right.
But assuming the Lions do move out of that spot.
Right.
If the Broncos come and get them, it's 2 spots. Again, but 9, 13, 14, I mean, these guys' values, again, if you're getting a player that you want.
Okay, but let's stick with the top 10 being what it is right now.
Okay.
Okay. Even with the switch of 7 and 9.
Well, I mean, I also want to be
the-
different, so I don't mind taking a chance at assuming a team makes a trade. Let's play it out as let's go through it right now.
Well, let's go with the original trade, which is the 7 and 9 swap then.
We're at the first 5 right now being done. Dolphins are at 6. You're saying Dolphins trade out of 6.
No. Dolphins stay at 6. Take Devontae Smith.
Okay.
Bang.
Done.
Okay. Pitts is gone. Chase is gone.
Okay.
Smith.
Now, 7. 7 is the Lions.
Lions.
And
Staying at 7.
staying at 7.
Do they take a flyer on Micah Parsons there?
They need defense. That's what I'm saying. I think something happened.
Do they go with Patrick Surtain the second?
One of those 2, in my
Because they lost Darius Slay last year.
I'm getting uncomfortable much here because I'm pondering like we're in the draft room.
Ponder.
That was funny how I took that stature. That was
4 minutes and 10 seconds.
Let's see. I think they stay on course and they go for Parsons.
Okay, Micah Parsons it is.
I think they go Parsons.
Pick him.
Parsons.
Book it. Parsons.
Okay.
Now, number 8, with the 8th pick in the first round, the Carolina Panthers select.
No, they don't.
They trade down.
Yes.
You're still trying to trade out of the first round.
Somebody's gonna. I'm not gonna get this right if I don't trade somebody.
Trade with the Patriots.
Yes.
Okay.
Quarterback, and they're taking.
Okay.
They are taking.
Justin Fields.
Hell yeah! I love that pick. for
Justin
the
Fields, a
Patriots.
guy who's going to need less work than Trey.
Lance.
What's his face? Trey.
Trey Lance.
Yeah, Trey Lance. Lance.
Lance.
What a fun name that kid has. Trey Lance.
Trey Lance.
He's the next Patrick Mahomes.
Okay,
by the way.
9. Broncos,
Broncos.
and they need a quarterback too.
They need a quarterback.
They would have traded already. We got to redo this whole damn draft.
So Trey Lance falls to them. Book it. Trey Lance.
Trey Lance is 9.
Trey Lance.
They don't trade; they just get him.
Trey.
And the last one,
10.
10.
Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys.
Patrick Surtain the second.
They're taking somebody on defense.
Like everybody and their mother has mocked them to take Pat Surtain. Surtain.
So
Everybody and their
basically,
mother.
Nobody has to watch the first 3 hours on Thursday because we have it right here.
Yeah, well, I'll be working, so it's okay.
I'll be home. I think. Let's go through this. Number 1.
You hope.
Clearly, Trevor Lawrence. We both agree on that.
Right. Lawrence, Wilson,
2, Zach Wilson. 3, Mac Jones.
Jones.
Can't run. 4, Kyle Pitts.
Pitts,
5, Jamar Chase.
Chase. Poor
6,
Jamar.
Devonta Smith. 7.
He's skinny, but he's mad.
7, Micah Parsons to the Lions. 8, Justin Fields to the Broncos. 8 was the Lions, wasn't it?
8 was the Panthers.
Panthers, I'm sorry. 9 is the Broncos.
Right.
And then 10 is the Cowboys
Yep.
taking Patrick Surtain.
The
Are they
second.
going to put on his jersey?
A 2. Yeah.
Okay.
I. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I
Everybody's doing that. Will Fuller has a IV.
I think it's LL.
No. Will Fuller is Will Fuller the fourth.
Yeah, no, but you're saying II. And
Right.
It's LL.
No, it's II.
You sure?
It's II. It's the second. It's the Roman numeral I. II. It's not LL.
I don't see a dot.
L is 50.
I don't see a dot.
What is he, the 100th?
They need dots then. There's no dots. They're just lines.
There's not going to be dots. Hey,
Push it
Will
down.
Fuller plays for the Dolphins now, and I'll tell you right now, it's going to be WILLFULLER IV.
Oh, IV.
IV. He's
Yeah,
the fourth.
his mom's a nurse.
There's 3 other of them.
Right.
It's going to be IV instead of junior.
We went exactly an hour and got to everything we needed to get to, except for, of course, the fun stuff like
Aliens. So Proxima Centauri, the red dwarf sun, which is closest to us, the solar system closest to us, which has 2 exoplanets, Proxima Centauri A, Proxima Centauri B, okay? Proxima Centauri B being the one that is in the sweet spot, the most habitable for humans, been theorized to be, as they say in Star Trek parlance, an M-class planet, just took a huge solar flare, 14,000 times anything that's ever come off of our planet, our sun, okay, from a red dwarf star. Suffice to say, it's very unlikely that any sort of human type of life form can live or survive there. And they get these flares almost on a daily basis.
Yeah, it's not going to go too long.
No.
No.
So we can check those planets off as far as being the originating planet for an alien life form coming here.
Wonk, wonk, wonk.
Womp womp.
But
But now you have to deal with all those other hundreds of billions of other planets.
so you knocked off one, all right?
Okay, one down.
You're out. Yeah, and that's the one they found. That's why they were able to do all that.
999 billion. It's like,
And here's the beauty of it is the naysayers will take that and go, I told you so. I knew there wasn't anybody out there. Yes, one planet can't do it. No planets can do it, except for our own and a few
God,
other
I
hundreds
hate
of thousands.
Facebook and Twitter.
So, yeah, they're out there. They're coming or they're here or whatever. What I thought was interesting, again, this is just from a scientific perspective, is somebody is doing some experimentation now, which is super cool. Where I told you where they send a weather balloon into space, they attach a camera to the weather balloon and a lot of other instruments. The camera's cool because you literally see the entire journey up and down. Once the balloon finally reaches its maximum height, pressure explodes, balloon
Right.
explodes.
Well, we've been
box
doing
drops back down to Earth.
Meteorologists have been doing that for about 100 years now, but this is different.
What they're getting now is it's like a big piece of Venus flytrap paper, okay, and it's on this box.
A collector.
Comes out of this contraption that they've built on the balloon, and essentially what it does is it hovers up there for maybe an hour or so, and then it gathers and collects whatever space stuff gets attached to this thing. Eventually, balloon pops, like I said, box falls to Earth, GPS, okay, go get it. They pick it up, they analyze it, bring it back to the lab. They're looking for life. They're looking for any sort of microorganisms that can either promoted life or can promote life. And it's an amazing, amazing study, and it's obviously all done with top-end scientists. So all they're really trying to necessarily prove or disprove is that can there be any sustainable life there, wherever there is. Obviously, space is vast, and it's been there for many, 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 many years. So lots of things are moving around, lots of moving parts, things changing all the time. So, yeah, they're trying to get a piece of that. Maybe something will just kind of float by, and they'll be like, oh, wow, that thing's alive. Pretty cool. Bring it here. Let's check it out. And then, therefore, kind of turns everything upside down. So kind of cool.
How sneaky would that be for an alien culture to just swoop in? They don't even have to go into the atmosphere, just the sub-atmosphere, and just drop, a bucket of these microbes. And then the microbes land, and then they mutate, and they grow. And then all of a sudden the invasion is on. Okay? They mutate. I mean, that's, I believe that's, there's a couple of sci-fi movies that I'm just trying. I think it was one of the zombie movies that it was alien microbes that take over, inhabit life forms here, and that's the invasion.
Makes sense.
It's killing me.
Not species, is it?
No, it's. I want to say Evil Dead, or what was the Mila Jovovich vehicle?
Oh no, that was
It's killing me.
yeah.
Yeah, because I hate zombie movies. Zombie movies are stupid.
Apocalypse?
It's no, not Apocalypse, but
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil.
Ding 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 ding.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Resident Evil.
it's like that. It's like it.
Yeah.
Okay, just on a microbial level, they inhabit hosts and turn them into destructive beings, and there, it's on. And we work with some of those people on Thursday and Friday nights. They come to our club and invade. You have to be from another planet for some of these people. Oh, you missed Friday night, by the way.
Good.
Friday night was fun.
I'm good.
Ooh, it was, I expected Rod Serling to step up. Imagine, if you will,
Yeah.
a dimension beyond sight and sound.
That doesn't have to be Friday. It could be Tuesday.
No, a kooky. Listen, we had to throw a party of 3 out and an individual out before 9 o'clock. Yeah, y'all were lit Friday, but you know what? This is all part of us coming out of COVID. And everybody's going out, and everybody's getting vaccinated, and everybody's getting froggy, and people are acting like they've been pent up for a year.
Clearly.
It's like, what have you not been out? Where's your manners? So we got to learn how to go out and be in public again, but that's okay. That doesn't make you an alien. Alien. That's it. Anything more to add? Nope. Good.
No. 4 days of picking players coming up starting Thursday.
Yep.
What is it? Day 1 is Thursday. Day 2 is
day
Friday.
2 is Friday, and then
the
Saturday,
rest
yeah.
is the other rounds.
Yeah. Blah 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 blah.
That constant scroll on the TV. You're like,
Ugh.
you're waiting
I'm
for
tired
the
of it.
Steelers to
I'm
pick
sick of it.
138. I'm like,
Yeah.
falling
Well,
asleep
you're going
on
to take
the couch.
Najee Harris. Everybody says you're going to draft Najee Harris at 24, and that's it. And
If he's
you know
there,
what? That would be great for you.
Sure, we'll take a running back.
Good for you.
Yeah, same system. Help Ben out because he's
Right.
done. He's finished.
Don't forget, now coming up Monday night, we have the Blame Girl podcast at 7 o'clock, and at 9 o'clock, the Gonzo Radio Show. I'm doing one again.
Welcome back.
Yeah, well, everybody's getting vaccinated around here, so it's okay to have people over at the house. And I am having, my guest is stand-up comedian and real estate sales associate Danny Feynman, Danny the Jew, joining us live here on the Gonzo Radio Show on the Gonzo Radio Network. For those of you who tuned in via the network, both of you, and that will be at 9 p.m. Monday night, probably after we go to the Spanx the Hog open mic, barbecue and open mic. I'm going to eat ribs while I do a 5-minute set.
It's nice.
I'm just going to do it. I'm going to be like, I'm going to tell you, what about that? So check that out. Getting things cranked up again here, like I said. I'm learning to budget my time better so I can do more stuff. So on behalf of myself and Baz, say goodbye to the nice people.
See ya.
And you can catch him at MLB Joy Us on the Instagrams. He still hasn't got a Twitter because he doesn't believe in Twitter. He needs to get vaccinated.
Twitter's
because
an evil empire.
Yeah. Twitter's evil.
Don't get vaccinated.
They're
going to track you.
Yeah, they're going to track you because our lives are so interesting.
Mine is.
Listen, Daryl from Pizza Hut is not that interesting. And of course, you can search Gonzo Radio on all the platforms, including LinkedIn, and you can follow us each and every day. But by all means, follow us. Friend me, I dare you. I might even say yes. So we'll see you guys next week for episode 73, our 73rd episode. Eventually, maybe local radio will be, smart enough to bring us on and have us do 4 hours. Can you imagine us doing 4 hours? That would be nuts.
Be cool.
That'd be crazy. So on behalf of myself and the Maz, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.